Well, SABC News reporter Natasha Phiri joins us now from the convention. Natasha, of course, you've been speaking to various people. We also saw those protests happening outside the convention where people are really stressing the importance of this national dialogue not being, elitist, and that the convention must really protect that it is people-centered when it does unfold.
Definitely, Unaiti, and of course we continue to bring you various views from outside, the National Convention, as much as those deliberations are actually taking place inside with the various themes. There are activities outside. You mentioned the protests, and right now I just want to show you something that is, it is interesting but very, very sad, Unaiti, something that highlights, a scourge of gender-based violence, which is now a pandemic in the country. Of course, the ladies from Women of Change have brought a coffin, Unaiti, and I just want to walk to it as my colleague Nkosi actually shows you the various faces of the women, that are in this coffin. Of course, the hashtag here is Unbury the Truth. And what you see here, Unaiti, are various women, from all sectors of society, all races, all ages, that have lost their lives, unfortunately, to gender-based violence. You see the likes of Uyinene, Hillary, Gadi, some, notable names, Chesney as well there. And I'll just call the women Sabrina and Cameron from Women of Change. Just perhaps before we get into the interview, Sabrina, take us through some of the names we may not know that actually appear on this coffin.
Hi, I think we can see Chesney there. Last week, her murderer was actually let out on bail, 20,000 rand. Absolutely shocking. We see Gabby. I spoke to her. I actually saw her family yesterday. Gabby's murder today not found. We obviously see we have Francisca. She was killed and raped, 15 years old, in Tokai Forest in Cape Town. This was the reason why Women for Change was found. So many, many women we honor. The casket has 5,578 purple beads. Every one of them for a woman that was lost in just 1 year. And the casket is also 34% bigger than your usual casket, showcasing the femicide rate that has risen also in just 1 year.
And Sabrina, you mentioned the fact that, Chesney's former partner, or whatever you call it, was actually released on bail. The person that committed such this crime, is now out on bail. Are these some of the conversations that you want to ventilate here at the National Convention? I'll start off with Sabrina and I'll come to you, Cameron.
Absolutely. I mean, why are we giving bail to perpetrators all the time? We saw it with Olorato. I think this case absolutely hit the nation. Seeing, we had Women for Change when Olorato was murdered, we were helping the friends looking for her. When we found out and the perpetrators' pictures were released, we had more than 10 women coming forward, 2 Women for Change, and saying, I know this guy, I was abused, I was beaten, and I'm just glad I'm alive. And why are those people out on bail? It's just shocking.
And Cameron, you get the sense that the justice system is actually failing the women of our country. I mean, it's painful that the fact that Sabrina has to highlight that each bead actually signifies a woman. Over 5,000 women have lost their lives, to gender-based violence. You raise issues of the justice system failing us. Are these issues that, as Women for Change, you will ventilate? But the thing is, it's been happening over time. Government knows about these issues. How then do you think that a national dialogue will bring about any change?
I think when we came into this space, we had one intention, and that was to continue the message that we handed in on the 11th of April when we said declare gender-based violence and femicide a national disaster. And regardless of what they want to do here, that's what we came to do. That's why we've brought this casket, because it's not about what they want to discuss. We have a very clear message on behalf of our survivors, victims, and their families to stand up for them and say, this is horrific, this is terrifying. This is something that I don't think people outside of South Africa realize what it's like to be a woman in the rape capital of the world.
And Cameron, you and Sabrina mentioned the fact that some family members of these women who have unfortunately lost their lives are here today at the National Convention. Will they be making any inputs? Perhaps have you engaged them on the various inputs that they will be making? And perhaps the inputs, as you, as Women for Change, representing the families and the victims of these women, what inputs will you be making here?
I don't think I can speak on behalf of the families here today. I know that as an organization, specifically with Sabrina, she makes the effort to make sure we speak with these families, and there's a reason that they know that they can come to us, because we will always hold space for them and we will always speak on their behalf. And there's a saying that it takes a community to raise a child, but this country is raising abusers and killers, and that is the scariest thing. And so I think what we would wish is that in these conversations that we're having, that they know that we are always with them, that we have always supported them, and that we will continue to speak on their behalf, even if we're speaking until our throats are sore.
And as Women for Change, perhaps your inputs after this national convention, remember, that is when the real work will actually start, when this conversation actually goes out to our various wards, to our various communities and sectors. What will, as you, Cameron, your contribution be in ensuring that everybody under the banner of Women for Change actually rallies behind this initiative?
I don't think people realize that today is not a special day per se for us. Today is just another day where we recognize how many women and children are being killed every day, raped, assaulted. And so for us, it doesn't matter that this is a national dialogue. This is a conversation we've been asking for years. I mean, the National Strategic Plan Against Gender-Based Violence and Femicide was done in 2019. So how many national dialogues have happened since then? So what does it matter that we're gathered here today to talk about this? That's not what we want. What we want to see really is the government to admit their failures and to finally live up to the promises that they've been saying, because they cannot say that they're going to do a 90-day blitz and then do nothing. They cannot take our petition and then say nothing to us. They cannot keep doing this. So we're here, but this conversation is something we have had every single day and will continue to have outside of this space.
Cameron, and as I wrap up, I just want to bring your attention to something, Unathi, and of course our viewers. Sabrina's dress, as beautiful as it is, Unathi, it's very, very sad, because what she has here are victims of gender-based violence. And Sabrina, if you'll just, if you can show our viewers and Unathi there in studio what actually is happening on this dress. You've got in memory of Paige Bell here, in memory of Zandi Imelda Mkabela. You've got in memory here of Tuso Untatile Mantamenu, and several other women who unfortunately have lost their lives to the scourge of gender-based violence. And Unathi, basically what these women are saying, that these conversations have been had time and time and time again. It is time that, government and society as well actually does something. And the hope here, when the president had made that clarion call that this process should be inclusive, it shouldn't be a government-led process. This is a time for ordinary citizens in South Africa to take up this initiative, Unathi, as their own, and make sure that really coming out of this convention, a social compact is then developed. The various engagements that will come out of here really, really do bear fruition, so that something in society can change. And that is the hope from these women, that this must not be another talk shop, but really something has to give, Unathi.